Are you putting in more hours than you ever imagined and feeling overwhelmed? Do you feel that you're not accomplishing much anymore and kind of wondering what it is you're doing? You may be burned out and not even know it. Today, I'm going to share 7 warning signs so you'll know when burnout strikes. This subject of burnout has been one that's been real important to me over the years in my career as an entrepreneur, running businesses, being a mom, and raising children, all of those things, particularly women do as we're balancing career and work. And oftentimes I would have these feelings, yet not know what it was. And so knowing the cues and signals of when we're burned out gives us the chance to know it and then fix it. So let's go. So, the first warning sign that you're burned out is that you just don't want to come to work or go to work or go sit at your computer. You're dragging out of bed. You find it hard to get started. You don't want to go into that room where, if you're working at home, where the computer is, you don't want to turn on your laptop, flip on the light, get started. You remember the time perhaps when you used to jump out of bed and be real excited about what you're doing and what the day would bring. But now you dragging and it's hard to start. You may be burned out. A second cue that you may be suffering from burnout is that you feel that you're not really accomplishing anything. You lack that satisfaction that comes from when you accomplish something, like your goals. You're kind of feeling disillusioned and you're seeing a drop in your feelings of self-worth and self-esteem. You just don't feel good about what you're doing. You may be burned out. A third is, and sometimes we don't really think about this one, and that is that we are becoming irritable or impatient with others, our coworkers, our family, our clients, our customers. We're beginning to be, we just don't want to be bothered. We're short-tempered. We find ourselves resenting that we have to see a client or go meet a customer or pick up the kids or whatever it is that we perhaps used to enjoy, that we used to feel good about that client engagement, seeing customers walk through the door, or spending time sitting down with family. But these days, all we feel is irritable. Hey, that's another sign. One of the signals too that we have to look out for, and that often signals that we're experiencing stress or burnout, is that our sleep habits change, or we get physical symptoms that we complain about because they're bothering us, like headaches or stomach aches, and we're just not feeling good physically. And so the stress and anxiety that's going on in our minds affects our body and really shows up in our sleep. And if we're getting up at night, or our habits are just not the same as they were when it comes to sleeping. Another signal that you might be burned out is that you're feeling overwhelmed and hopeless. And I know that many of us felt like this during the pandemic. You know what I mean? That, we were, you just feel that this isn't going to end, or, why is this happening? And if things aren't going to change, and you're just so overcome by everything, and this sense of hopelessness that things aren't just going to get better. They just won't. And you find yourself really thinking too much about this lack of hope. Another signal that perhaps you're burned out is that you go through this cycle of feeling guilty about being irritable with people or not accomplishing your goals. And then you get depressed. You feel sad about that. And as you're in this feeling of sadness and depression, you're talking to yourself negatively, and you're sending yourself and thinking about all this negativity and these self messages. And then you begin to procrastinate or put things off and not follow through with things like you used to, and then you get paralyzed. And it's this cycle of feeling guilty and then sad and procrastinating and can't do things that may be a sign that you're burned out. And then there's the signal just overall of you just feel exhausted. This physical and emotional exhaustion that you can't, just do anything because you're tired. And you may have felt that, I thought I got a good night's sleep, or I ate pretty good, but I'm just feeling exhausted and I don't know what it is. Burnout. So these are 7 warning signs that you might, in fact, be burned out. And let me just say this. First, you're not alone. These days, more and more people, particularly coming out of pandemic, trying to figure out what we do next, this whole feeling of uncertainty, burnout runs rapid. So you're not by yourself, but more importantly, there are lots of things that you can do for it. Watch some of my other videos, subscribe and like, and we'll talk about solutions that can work to help you beat burnout.